It's 8:24 on News Radio 910 WSBA. Dennis Edwards is on vacation. I'm Jim Horn.
And I'm Jeffrey Schiffman, and we bring in our NFL insider, Doug Walters. Good morning, Doug. How are you doing?
Good morning, Jeff. Doing good.
Hey, let's get right to it. The Monday Night Football game. The New Orleans Saints do not look like the New Orleans Saints of 2006. They threw away the ball. Breeze had 4 interceptions. I thought that they were going to be a great team, and now the loss of what looks to be Deuce McAllister for the rest of the season, that's got to be a heartbreaker for them.
Yeah, things are just going from bad to worse, and they're really doing things the way a lot of boom and bust teams would do them. You'll see a big year, a lot of surprises, some big names coming out of the woodwork, sign some big free agents, and then all of a sudden the next year, you see things just fall apart, injury, just not gelling like they did. So, yeah, not good.
Yeah, and let's, on the other side of that, let's give the Tennessee Titans some credit. That is a team, and Jeff Fisher could be the best coach in the NFL. I know that, he doesn't get quite as much of the hoopla, but I think every single week that team is prepared and is able to play, and he's taken a team that was decimated by free agency just a few years ago, and they've made them a contender. They're going to be a tough team to beat.
Absolutely. And you know what? Vince Young, he may not be like a statistics quarterback. He gets some rushing yards. He gets, a couple passing yards here and there, but, they just win. And, you can't give all the credit to Vince Young, but at the same time, he is a big X factor in the gameplay. So, yeah.
All right, we've talked a little bit about the Monday night game. Let's talk about the biggest disappointments for the first 3 weeks. We already talked about the Saints; they're 0-3, but we've got some other teams out there that are playing very poorly. The Chargers 1-2, and the Bears, the Bears getting annihilated by the Cowboys on Sunday night. Are those maybe the two biggest disappointments so far?
Yeah, I think you're right in thinking that. I mean, definitely people saw both of those teams as definitely Super Bowl favorites. San Diego, with their big year last year, where did the offense go? Where is LaDainian Tomlinson? There are even some questions. I guess people saw some back and forth between Phillip Rivers and LT. So they're not clicking like they were in the Bears. I'm not surprised by the Bears. Rex Grossman just got really, really good defense last year, and a defense like that doesn't carry over into the next year very well. I think if you look back historically, you'll find that a lot of those defenses just have trouble, and Grossman doesn't help. That's the problem.
And doesn't help is an understatement. All right, let's talk about some of the games coming up this Sunday. The games that I'm really interested in, I'm interested to see if Indy can steamroll Denver. Denver has won by the hair of their chinny chin chin and then lost by the hair of their chinny chin chin. And then the Eagles and the Giants and New England and Cincinnati. Those are the kind of games that I think are going to be the most interesting games this weekend.
Right, and I think like maybe last year, 2 years ago, we would have liked the Denver-Indy game, and we would have liked New England and Cincinnati because they were all contenders. But we see Cincinnati stumbling this year, and like you said, Denver just winning by that much. They're just doing enough to get by. I think the big games this week are actually going to be the ones that are intra-division. So you've got, like you said, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Giants.
Right.
You've got Baltimore going to Cleveland. We'll see if the Browns can put up some points like they did against Cincinnati. You've got Chicago, Detroit, Tampa Bay, Carolina. There's a good one from the NFC South where both teams are 2-1 because the Saints are losing, So it's going to be interesting. Those are the games that really do make a difference when you get closer to the postseason. You look back and say, wow, if we'd only beaten that team in our division one more time, we'd be sitting on top. So it's tough, yeah.
The interesting thing I also think is NFC games. You look at the Saints, they're 0-3, but if they can right the ship, I think an 8-8 team from the NFC goes to the playoffs.
Right, and we've seen that the last couple of years. And it's tough. It just shows how bad the NFC is when compared to the AFC. But, I think starting this year and working into next year and the next couple of years, we're going to see a shift. We're going to see teams from the NFC like Dallas, Green Bay, Carolina, Tampa Bay starting to gain some traction. And they're going to raise the rest of the conference up with them to meet the AFC and then a couple of years down the road to exceed the AFC and kind of regain the conference dominance that they had back in the 80s and 90s.
Our NFL insider, Doug Walters, check him out, The Science of Winning, scienceofwinning.com, and we'll talk to you next week, okay?
Sounds good, Jeff.
All right, good enough. WSBA News Time is 8:28. Traffic and weather together on the 8s next.